Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
This movie sucks. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones is the second movie in the prequel trilogy, and it came out in 2002 into theaters near you. And Matt, what did you think of Attack of the Clones? Because I'm sure you liked it more than me.
This is a tough one. I think I've touched on this in other videos, and I really think the early 2000s is where a lot of bad movies are, only because that's where they had a breakthrough with CGI, and they just abused the hell out of it in this movie, and some of it is not great. There's, if you notice, a lot of scenes where they're pretty much in front of a green screen the entire movie, and you can see a white aura around most of the characters, and it's tough to get around. But as far as the movie goes, it's Star Wars. I love all the Star Wars movies. Some are obviously better than others. This is not my favorite by any chance, but it's okay. It's very okay in my opinion. And one last complaint I have is the Padme and Anakin scenes are just they're a little awkward for me. They don't do it, but I know.
You gotta really excuse him. He's being way too nice to this movie, because this movie is just flat out bad. This would be a bad movie even if it wasn't in Star Wars. If this wasn't a Star Wars movie, we wouldn't even be having a video made about Attack of the Clones, because nobody would care about Attack of the Clones, because it's a badly acted, badly written, badly shot movie with some of the worst acting I have ever seen in a movie, bar none. CGI is atrocious. The fact that you can even call that CGI, and I'm supposed to believe that somebody is standing next to a stormtrooper that it clearly looks like it was rendered, I'll give it to them. They went up a little bit. Maybe not PS2 for this compared to the Phantom Menace, but it's very early on PlayStation 3 graphics. Maybe Xbox 360 and 2005 graphics, but that is as far as I will go. It literally looks like there's a real person standing next to a video game character, and I'm supposed to believe as a viewer that this guy is talking to that guy, and that guy is clearly not there. I don't understand. It would take me out of the movie every single time I would notice how bad that CGI is. It was almost unwatchable, except there were some redeeming qualities. I'm not gonna lie. Certain things about this movie I definitely enjoyed more this time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the scenery. I love the fight between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan. I thought that was a really cool scene. There's things about it. I for some reason I really like the diner scene when Obi-Wan goes to the diner to meet his friend. I think Dex was his name.
Oh.
And all the arms.
That actually is the best scene in the movie. When he's in there and he goes up to the bar and he uses the guy's force. You want to rethink your whole life. I want to rethink my whole life.
Oh, the death stick.
Yeah.
No.
You want to go home and rethink your life?
I want to go home and rethink my life.
It's actually a pretty funny piece of dialogue. So in a movie, and then that leads actually right into the bounty hunter scene, which is really good. I think the CGI actually doesn't stick out that much except for the car they're in. Forget it. Just if I'm trying to throw some compliments at
Is that when they're chasing
the bounty hunter? Yeah.
After the attempt on
no.
Padme.
Yeah, this is like setting up the fact that then eventually, Anakin has to go and protect her on Naboo, on the beaches and everything like that, so that they can fall in love, because Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman just have such great chemistry in this movie. It is just so good. I truly believe that these two characters are falling in love, and then Hayden Christensen just really hates sand.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
It's not even really Natalie Portman so much, where it's Anakin, Hayden Christensen. He's like forcing himself on her, and she's like, nah, dude, and he's like, I love you, but it's just so annoying.
It's just such a tough watch. And what's funny is that when they go to Tatooine and he's going to save his mother, it was actually getting me a little bit, and the scenery didn't look that bad, the CGI didn't look that bad. I was like, okay, it's getting me back a little bit. And then she died, and he brings her home. And then you're asking Hayden Christensen to act and be sad, and he just comes off like, dude, I feel bad your mom just died. Why don't you try and act a little better? because you're coming off extremely whiny and annoying, and I don't feel bad for you anymore that your mother just died, because I hate the way you're acting.
I'm curious to see how he's going to be in the new Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, a lot of it, from my understanding, like, I'm being mean here, and, maybe it's just for a bit or what, but it's just that it really is bad to me, but a lot of it, from what I've heard, is the script and George Lucas's direction, so maybe it's not Hayden Christensen. There's been a lot of people who have there's actually a lot of people who are watching this right now who will tell you that they love Hayden Christensen, and I get that, but I didn't like it. I didn't like that we're supposed to believe this age gap that just, 3 years before Jake Lloyd plays him and Natalie Portman is...
Well, it's a 10-year gap between 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to close the age gap that quick, is he?
Right, but if you listen, there was a thing of dialogue where Natalie Portman or Queen Amidala Padme says...
How have you grown?
Well, no. Well, yeah, she says that, but she... Maybe it was episode 3 then, when they were talking, but basically she goes, I probably was too young to be elected queen. So I think she was only like 14 when she was the queen. And I would say she was probably like 17. And I think he was about...
like 10, 11?
10, 11, 12 maybe,
yeah,
when
it's
he's
not
pod racing. So it's really not that big of a gap. It's like 6 years max between the two of them, 7 possibly.
Like, there's 5 years between me and my wife, and she's 5 years older than me, so I get that. Like, if you were to look at my wife when she was 17 and be like, oh man, you're going to marry that 12-year-old over there? I get it, he's attractive, but you're going to marry him? And it's like, yeah, I get that. Like, because we saw them meeting when he was still a kid, and
yeah.
So I get that. I'm supposed to buy into it, but it's weirder just because Jake Lloyd is so much younger than Natalie Portman, and Hayden Christensen is actually older than Natalie Portman, so when you switch actors like that, it can be a little jarring, and amongst the many things that took me out of this movie, that wasn't just another one. But as far as acting goes for the other actors, no matter what you put in front of Ewan McGregor and Samuel L. Jackson, they're both great in this movie.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson should be commended. He's awesome throughout the whole movie, and through the whole trilogy, really.
The prequels are really an Obi-Wan story, right?
Yeah, and
for the most part.
Well, it's supposed to be
the Skywalker saga, but I think Obi-Wan is a big part of the prequel.
It's just they nailed Ewan McGregor's casting.
Yeah.
They really did. He is the perfect young Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is perfect for it. And they really got that right. And I can't take that away from him. That's why everyone's so excited for an Obi-Wan show. Mm-hmm. So there's just other things that take me out. And, I've already ragged on the film enough, so let's talk about the Blu-ray. So, Matt, you have the 4K Blu-ray. That's what you watched it on. I watched it on the digital stream from Disney Plus again. Mm-hmm. So what did you think of the 4K?
So I compared this, same TV, same... we watch all our Blu-rays on an Xbox Series X. There's no difference between this and the Disney Plus stream, other than maybe the audio will sound a little bit better on the disc. But again, the Disney Plus stream is perfectly fine to watch all this stuff on. But if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan and you have to have the best of the best, the 4K is the way to go, obviously. But if you have the Star Wars Blu-rays already, then I don't think it's worth the upgrade. There's not really a big jump, I don't think. But the Dolby Atmos track is probably the best thing that we get out of the 4K.
Yeah, no matter what you do with the 4K or the Disney Plus stream, it's not going to fix that CGI mess. So it's still going to look weird and jarring no matter which way you watch it, just because it's going to take you out. But it did look good as far as the best it could look, and like Matt said, and I said the same thing about episode 1, really good Dolby Atmos track. The audio is definitely great. The lightsabers look awesome no matter what. And, like even the conveyor belt scene, even though I can tell that they're in front of a green screen, it's still animated pretty well. And the 4K is definitely going to make it look pretty good. And it's just as nice as I can really be about a bad movie. It's there. You don't need to buy the 4K. I didn't watch the Blu-ray. I did that for episode 3 and compared it to the Disney Plus the stream. But for 2, I just watched the Disney Plus stream, and it was just I was just trying not to pull my hair out. So I got through it. I'm alive. I was able to see the other side, and well, I don't think there's any more we could say about episode 2, unless you got something else.
I actually watched it twice. Because, I watched it on my TV, and then I had it on in the background when I was working in the garage. But I don't know if I would put it dead last just yet.
Right. Well, right now
For in this rank, yes, Episode 1 is definitely better than this movie.
Yeah. So right now for our rankings, we have it as Episode 1 is number 1 and Episode 2 is number 2. Tune in next week because we are going to have a big debate on Episode 3 because I think me and Matt fall very opposite on this one. So we'll see you guys next week for our Star Wars movie rank video. That one we're going to do Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And we'll see you guys there. And as always, thank you for being a fan of Let's Talk. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And tell all your friends.